Well, hello, Canadian Campaholic here, coming to you from our trailer. It is late September now, and one of my subscribers had a question on the channel about the timing of when to winterize your trailer. So if you're in a hurry, I'll cut right to the chase and give you my answer. If you've got some time to spend with me today, then stick around and I'll explain my thought process a little bit later. So to kick things off, when should you winterize your trailer? If you live in a climate where things are going to go below freezing during the winter time, if at any point when you check the weather forecast and you see there's a good chance that the actual temperature, we're not talking wind chill or anything like that, but the actual real temperature is going to drop below freezing for anything more than 2 to 3 hours, you seriously need to consider winterizing your trailer. So again, to summarize, my answer would be anytime the temperatures are going to go below freezing, sustained overnight for at least 2 or 3 hours, that's when you should winterize your trailer. So if you got to run, that's great. If not, stick around. We'll talk a little bit more about why that is my answer.
Okay, go.
Okay, is it recording?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll come and I'll sit here. Welcome back. Thank you for sticking around while I elaborate a little more on my answer. So when it comes to winterizing your RV, whether it's a motorhome, fifth wheel, travel trailer, pop-up camper, doesn't matter. There's lots of different things that you can do, but we're focusing today on winterizing the plumbing. That means removing any water from the system and adding RV-safe, non-toxic antifreeze to the system to prevent the pipes from swelling, cracking, bursting, and having all kinds of problems. And earlier in the video, I said that my personal advice is to watch the weather forecast very carefully. If you start to see that there's a night coming up where the temperatures are going to dip consistently below freezing, so below 0 Celsius or below 32 Fahrenheit, for anything more than 2 or 3 hours, I would definitely be considering getting your rig winterized. Either getting it done by a professional or, as we do, doing it ourselves. For me, doing it here in the trailer, I've got some other videos on the channel that talk about how to do this, but I basically put an attachment on the water pump, I put a hose in a big jug of antifreeze, and I pump it through the system. Before I do that, I do open up the low point drains, drain all the water out of the system. One of the reasons I do the winterizing myself is that in our little trailer, we have a very basic plumbing system. We've got one tap in the kitchen that does hot and cold water. We've got the shower in the back, of course, hot and cold, and then the toilet. That's it. And they're all within close proximity. So I don't have a lot of elbow joints and connections and things in the plumbing where water could stay. If I drain it out of the low point system, I'm pretty confident it's all out of the system. RV techs and experts with way more tools and equipment than me will often put compressed air through the system to make sure that there's absolutely no water at all. In some cases, when they do that, they won't even put RV antifreeze in it. But if they do put RV antifreeze in it, that's just an extra precaution, blah, 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 blah. I personally have never had to do that. I've always put RV antifreeze through the system, run each tap, starting with the one furthest from the pump, which in our case is the toilet. Let it run until you see lots of the pink stuff come through, then do the shower. Make sure, of course, you bypass your hot water heater. That's a critical step. But again, the purpose of this video is not to demonstrate how to winterize. It's to talk about the timing of winterizing. Some people have accused me of being overly cautious with winterizing, and they've said to me, look, unless it stays freezing for a day or two, your pipes aren't going to freeze. Well, do you really want to take that chance? Let me show you the pipes underneath our sink to kind of give you a better idea. So if we look underneath our kitchen sink here, you can see the blue plastic line there is for the hot water that goes up to the kitchen sink, and then we've got the blue is for the cold water, obviously. But what I'm trying to explain here is that this is the type of pipe that is used in just about every RV nowadays. It's PEX plumbing, I believe is the correct term. And it's quite flimsy and can't withstand a lot of pressure. Those are cloves, not mouse turds, just pointing that out. But what I'm trying to say here is that if you get water in there and it starts to expand, it's not going to take a lot for those pipes to crack and split. And even if the pipes don't crack and split, where they connect or screw together, all it would take is a little bit of stretching to start to cause liquid to seep out of there. Now, it might not pose a problem to you in the midst of the winter, but in the spring, when you de-winterize and go camping and you fill your fresh water tank and you start running the pump, you could very quickly flood your trailer and cause all kinds of damage. And I don't know about you, but I don't have the tools or the knowledge to go fixing PEX plumbing. And I also don't want to have to pay a tech to start ripping apart walls because, you know, okay, right now we can see the two pipes. If we reached up under the sink, you could see the connections. But this goes all through the wall. It goes behind the cabinets. It ends up in the bathroom. It goes up to the shower. The split in the pipe could be anywhere in the rig, and I don't want to have to pay to have someone tear it apart and fix it. So yes, am I a little overcautious? You better believe it, because I'd rather spend, let's say, 10 or 15 minutes winterizing, because that's all it takes me, maybe 10 bucks on really good quality RV antifreeze versus the hundreds and hundreds of dollar option. The last thing I'll really say on this whole subject is that for us, you know, if we do plan to go camping in the late season, we're talking October, November where we live, there have been instances where we've had to quickly winterize. We've gone camping, and in that case, all I've done is I've opened the low point drains, drained all the antifreeze out, added fresh water to the fresh water tank, and then just basically pumped it through the system. And we've had no issues with, you know, disgusting taste or anything like that. If that's not an option for you, pass me that thing beside you there, Raimi. If that's not an option for you, get one of these suckers. This is about 5 gallons. It's got a nice spigot on the top. Stick that on your counter and use that as your water source if you want to camp after you've winterized your trailer. I know a lot of people that do it that way. If you don't like the idea of having a spigot, go on Amazon. You can buy pumps that are rechargeable. They charge with the same cord as your cell phone. They sit in the top here and put a pipe in it, and you hit a button and it pumps water out of it. The downside to that, of course, is you're not going to be able to use your onboard bathroom, so you're going to end up in the middle of the night. If you need to go, you're going to run to the bathroom facilities. And that's why for us, even if we camp in November, we will still do a quick de-winterize, at least for the plumbing, so that we can still camp in the trailer. So anyway, we're going to wrap this video up. I hope that answered the question. And yes, as usual, I'm long-winded, but that's okay. If you guys have tips or hints or suggestions or thoughts, anything you'd like to add on when you winterize or how you winterize, go ahead and pop those comments down below. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later.